Hello, I'm Matt Hamilton, and this is a talk on automated feature builds on iOS, but also on Android. I just forgot to put it on the slide there. Some of this was taken from another talk at an iOS conference. Who am I? So I'm actually a Python developer. About 2 years ago, I got thrust into the world of mobile. I knew absolutely nothing about mobile. I went along to the NSConf conference in Leicester. It's the first thing I did, and but I was actually tempted to put my hand up when Dennis said, does anybody think of themselves as a code signing expert in his talk yesterday? And I very nearly did, but I didn't, because I thought as soon as I put my hand up, that will cause Apple to release a new version of Xcode and everything will break. I've yet to try the new version of Xcode that has just come out. Hopefully nothing is broken. So anyway, I'm currently the mobile development lead at a company called Enquos. Briefly, what is Enquos? We're a health and fitness and nutrition tracking system. And we have some apps that we're working on for tracking fitness and health and nutrition and how you're doing. But our iOS build process in particular is long, arcane, requires variations, certificates and keys. The Android process is a lot easier, but still can do with being automated. One of the issues we had was we have a distributed team of people working on this, and we don't particularly want to distribute the keys themselves around to everybody, so we wanted it all built on a central build service. When we started this 2 years ago, there weren't so many sort of software as a service build tools that could really do this. At the time, our code base, well, the repository was about 1 gig in size because we had a lot of data that we processed as well as part of it. And the build process took about 45 minutes to an hour building the Swift app at the time. And Buddy Build, for example, has come a long way and would probably handle what we have here much easier, but at the time, nothing was willing to go near it. So we did our own thing. Used some various tools. I'm not going to go into detail about too much about them. You probably know most of them here. But the point being is we wanted the code checked out from GitHub, built using Fastlane and Gradle, all coordinated by Jenkins. And then we used Fabric Beta, Test Flight, and the Play Store for distribution, and Slack for our kind of reporting of stuff. Like I said, this applies to both iOS and Android, but iOS was the one that was by far the most of the pain. So we used Fastlane, which automates a lot of the bits and pieces, gives you the missing API that you don't have. I won't go into too much detail, but we have some a Fastlane file that actually allows us to do these feature branch builds. So what am I talking about with feature branch builds? Sorry, I should probably have said. When the code is checked in, we use git flow. So this is a sort of diagram of what git flow sort of process looks like. Every time somebody builds a feature or starts working on a feature, they branch off of the main code repository, start working on the code, and then they check it in. We use Jenkins's pipeline builds to then automatically build jobs from the branches. So it scans GitHub, and when there's a new branch, you can see all our branches, our feature branches are named after a ticket number and then a bit of a description from Jira. The end result being that we can actually install a feature build. So as soon as we have a build, so looking here, we've got some features about Swift 3.1 compatibility. We've got one there about a watch app, for instance, various ones on the right are the Android ones, so various graphs and bits of functionality that are being developed. As soon as that branch is checked in, we build it, we create a brand new app, actually with a custom app identifier, bundle ID, for that app. So you can actually download it and install it. So it shows up in this case in Fabric Beta we use, and you can install any one of those versions. So you can check out a bit of functionality that a developer is working on without needing the actual build environment. Business can have a look at it as well very easily. A kind of a typical flow. So what's nice is looking here on Slack, we've got a message on the left there that a commit has been made by one of the developers, Ben. He's mentioned to Russ, who's our UX guy, that some changes have been made. Russ is a very happy guy. I say I'll check it out. Fastlane starts building, and at the end we have a build there. We were using Hockey at the time. We now use Fabric because it's a bit quicker, and you can go and install it, check it out. I've had a look at it and report it back, which is great. Any kind of gotchas? You also need to change the app ID for things like extensions and watch apps. So you need to keep it all coordinated. So if you dynamically generate the app ID for the main app, you also need to generate a corresponding app ID for the watch app and make sure everything all matches up. Originally, the app IDs were completely dynamic and named after the branch. We've had to reduce it down to just feature and develop because third-party APIs expect to know what it is. Thank you very much.